Thank you, Nami. Well, my name is Hussein Hamid, as Nami presented, and sadly, this is my last semester, so I'm going to miss you. And but I'm going to be going to grad school in Denver, so it's not too far, so 12 hours, I think. And I study international relations and international business at the minor. And so welcome to this Holcombe geography series, and today Johnny takes you to Mauritania. So I'd like to know, who have you ever heard of Mauritania? Anybody knows something about Mauritania? Okay, I can see 7, 8. Who is probably slightly have an idea about Mauritania and wants probably to guess where Mauritania is in this map? No? Any volunteer? Yeah. Well, so Mauritania is it's Northwest Africa. It shares borders with Morocco on north, and Mali south, and southeast Senegal on south, and the Atlantic Ocean on the west. And also have a quiz about Mauritania flag. It's green with a star, blue star, and yellow crescent. So what do you think that the green color symbolizes in Mauritanian flag? And you have these choices: the country's natural resources, or traditional symbols of Islam, or happiness and peace. Anybody want to guess? Yes,
Happiness and peace.
Happiness and peace. Good choice. I mean, good choice, but actually it symbolizes Islam, traditional symbol of Islam, the green color. So how about gold? What does gold symbolizes here? So you have choices: Sahara Desert, or 7 years of happiness, and country's mineral wealth. What? Anyone want to guess or no? Probably. You can just guess. Don't do it. Good guess. But it is actually symbolizes the Sahara Desert. And also Mauritania is known as well as an eye of Africa, and because of this kind of structure, geology structure, magnificent structure, and it's called Richard structure, and this geologists discovered, and still scientists, geologists trying to figure out more about it. It's in the north part of the country within the desert, and it looks like an eye of a bull. That's why it's called a Richard structure. That's why I call Mauritania an eye of Africa, because it looks exactly like an eye of a bull. Overview of Mauritania: the location, Northwest Africa. Total area is 1,030,700 square kilometers. That is slightly larger than Texas and New Mexico combined together. So it's very large. And independence in 1960 from France. And the population of Mauritania, 3.5 million. Most of the people live actually on the coast, like Nouakchott, the capital city, and in Ouadhibou, the economic capital. Most people live there. And also on the Senegal River, which is kind of a Senegal River, and like those big cities, Rosso, Bouga, and Tehedi. But in the northern part of the country, it's basically a desert. Like 2/3 of the country is a desert, so not many people live there. And 1/3 of the population lives in the capital city. And religion is, Mauritania is dominantly a Muslim country. Over 99% are Muslims. Languages, official languages of Mauritania: Arabic and French. Those are official languages, like all governments documents are you find them in French and Arabic, and also they are the educational languages. But there are some local languages which are you speak at home, like Pular, Hassania, Wolof, and Soninke. Ethnic groups, mostly dominantly, Mauritania is a very multi-ethnic country. Majority are Haratin, which is my ethnic group. It's about 40%, and Bidan 35%, and Wealth 6%, Pulau 14%, and Sonoke 4%, and others 1%. Mostly others descendant of French, very few of them, and Tuareg. Let's see, at least others 1%. And natural resources, Mauritania is really wealthy in terms of natural resources. It is sometimes considered to be the richest, one of the richest countries in terms of natural resources, but one of the also worst in terms of living conditions. And the iron ore, most of the resources are iron ore, gypsum, copper, phosphates, oil, fish. And the currency of Mauritania is Ouguiya, which is a dollar. $1 is converted into 280 Ouguiyas. Basically, actually, I have some bills that are, I have 1,000 bills, so I actually, you can pass these two bills. This is 1,000 Ouguiyas. So you can pass it through there. And 1,000 Ouguiyas, that means basically $3 and something. But it can, like 280 Ouguiyas can buy you a lunch in Mauritania, like if you were to go to a restaurant. So that means if you wanted to travel and you don't have the, that big budget, you probably should go to Mauritania because your dollar could really get you a lot of money. Overview of Mauritania, that is the presidential palace. Mauritania is a republic type of government. That means we have three branches of governments. Three branches of government. We have the legislative branch, which is the national court. The parliament, and we have the judiciary branch, which is presided by the national court, and the presidential branch or executive branch with the president. So we go to actually. We go to ballot votes and we vote for presidents. And we gained independence in 1960, and the currently president of Mauritania, his name is Mohamed Abdelaziz. And he came to power through a military coup d'etat. You probably heard of coup d'etat. Coup d'etat basically is a military basically overthrows civilian regime. He came to power through military coup in 2007, but he was forced under international pressure and also from local political opposition parties to resign as a military guy and then run as a civilian, and he won the election. So now he's a civilian president. Social issues. Unfortunately, Mauritania faces some really challenging social issues for the society as a whole. This is one of them is really big issues, is slavery. This is unfortunate, and it goes back in history to the Beni Hassan invasion or the Arab invasion to Mauritania in the 17th century. And Beni Hassan, they are Arabic tribes originally from the Arabic Peninsula, which is currently Yemeni. So they came to North Africa, like Morocco and Mauritania. And when they dominated, they enslaved some of the ethnic groups, which is my ethnic group among them. And poverty is an issue in Mauritania as well. Actually, it's because of unequal distribution of wealth, and also because countries rich in natural resources, but one ethnic group controls for over 80% of government, basically. There is not really equal distribution. So 40% estimate is said to be living under poverty line. And education also, has some issues. A lot of villages don't even have schools, and probably I will share with you my personal story later on. But instability of the political system. This is also a big a challenge for the democracy experience in Mauritania, because there's a strong presence of military in the political system. And since independence in 1960, we have so far 6 successful military coups and 7 attempted failed military coups. So whenever we have a civilian president and we vote, about 4 for 3 years there will be a military coup de d'etat, which is basically the military guys that will come and overthrow governments. History of Mauritania. The origin inhabitants of Mauritania, they called the Balfour people. And during the 3rd and 17th century, there was a migration of Berber tribes. And during the 17th century, Beni Hassan invasion, as I told you, there are Arabic tribes coming from Arabic Peninsula. And 1860, there's a French colonization. That is, France wanted to connect its colonies in North Africa and its colonies in West Africa. So Mauritania is like links between its colonies. That's the main reason why France colonized Mauritania. And we gained also independence in 1960. So people in clothing. Well, this is kind of called the Dara. So like from the ethnic group I'm from called Haratin, which is 40%, and the Bidan, which is the 35%. Bidan 35% there. Like we all have the Moor culture. Like Moor culture, basically, even though we are 2 ethnic groups, but we have the same culture. And we can see Dara, which is our dress, and we dress it basically. Some people even dress it to go to work. Some people dress it even for holidays, like and celebrations, and even dress it at night. So basically, people dress Dara all the time, especially men. And another ethnic group, Pular, which is 14%, and actually my friend, she's brought this dress model. So they dress up like this, and it is very kind of colored, a lot of colors there. Usually they dress up a scarf on it. Thank you so much. And usually also they usually sometimes dress a scarf, like a scarf, and they wrap it around their head to cover their hair. Because some of them are Muslims and they don't want to cover, they don't want to show their hair. Some Muslims do that, but not all Muslims. But that one in the middle, she doesn't mind, so she doesn't have a scarf. And Wolf, I was supposed to have a friend from Senegal. She definitely helped me cook a dish to represent her population, but probably she's not here yet. She was gonna dress up like that, show that. But anyway, but it's like, well, they are Senegal people, like from Senegal, and we have 6% of them. They usually dress like in kind of a lot of fashion, as you can say, a lot, not a stereotype, but makeup here and kind of more flashy way, I guess. And this is Bidan, which is 35% for the Hassan, and they will dress up just like us. As you can see, Dara, it's called Dara, and also that he has a holy, or the turban, around his neck. That is. And just a side note that this guy is kind of interesting because he was in CNN. He was in a CNN report a few days ago, and he identified himself as a slave master. He was a slave. He had the slaves. He had the slave masters, and but he became abolished. And he freed them. And he was in CNN report about that, which is kind of interesting. So dance and music, as I told you before, the Moor culture, Moor means Bidan and Haratin together. My ethnic group and the light-skinned Arabs, we are together called the Moor because we have the same culture, we have the same music, we dress up the same way, same religion, but only difference is like my ethnic group in the past, due to some passage, was enslaved. Almost like 20% of them were enslaved. And also we are dark-skinned. That's the only difference. The culture is the same. And so this is called Ma'luma Bint al-Maydah. She's one of the famous Mauritanian singer, and the instrument she has there is called ardin, and it's like a traditional instrument, a traditional Mauritanian instrument. basically has 9 strings, and you play it by like plugging, and actually I have a sound for it so you can hear it. I'll be.
You lowered the volume earlier.
Oh,
You can see that sound, that is what the artist is playing. So, I don't know if you have similar sounds, but I think it's really traditional. Okay. And that picture on the other side, that is, it looks like a violin, but it's not, it's different. And we call it that, we call it tidinit. Traditional also Mauritanian musical instruments. And also we have drums. That is drum usually made of like a skin of an animal, usually a camel skin. And people drum by drumming it, making sound. And also Kularwop and Sanke also, usually they have, their music is kind of more kind of a drumming, very fast rhythm music. It's really fast rhythm. I have a sound for it. You can hear it. See how. So very fast rhythm. I wish I could dance. It's very fast rhythm. I don't know if anybody can follow that. So this is like Quran well sung together. Music sounds like it's very different than the more music. So now we're coming to the wedding. Probably most of the students are interested in wedding. It starts, the wedding Mauritania is kind of, the way that we do it is very different and kind of interesting, you know, interesting to someone who's different to it. And it starts with engagement, and basically in engagement, the groom's parents will go to the bride's parents and they ask that their son wants to marry their daughter. And after telling them their decision, hopefully positively, after that you will start you know, a wedding ceremony. But before the wedding ceremony, usually have a dowry. Like there has to be a dowry. And but I have a question. Who do you think that gives the dowry? The bride's parents or the groom's parents? Any volunteer?
The bride.
The bride's parent. That is what logical in many cultures, I guess. But in Mauritania, it's different. It's the groom's parents who actually gives the dowry, and the dowry also can be money, usually like 280,000 rupiahs. That is about $1,000. So it's, you know, in currency, it's kind of have a more purchasing power than here. You know, it's different if you just give here $1,000, but Mauritania is a lot of money. And or it can be also goods, or it can be even animals. Like in villages, it can be cows or goats. After the dowry, then it starts the wedding ceremony. And with the wedding ceremony, usually invite some musical groups. We call them igaun. As probably you might see in the videos, most of in the More culture, igaun, like there are a specific group of that culture who have their jobs only singing and music. Like for me, for example, I wouldn't be like singing. This is just the way it is. Only them, and they kind of pass it on to their children. So it's a specific group, and they have that kind of a entertainment. We call them igaun. And then when they come to the wedding ceremony, they usually they will praise the bride and the groom and their parents, their family, and even their tribe. And when they are started praising and praising the tribe and the groom and the bride, people like friends and family members started throwing money, basically giving money to the igaun who praises them. And I have actually a video showing that to you how the celebration looks like.
الحمد الدين والمروة راحوا هون الليلة عرسان عزيزة واحمد ناقر ونامت ونامت قبر
And they say their families are the greatest among their tribes. That's the bride and that's the Anyway, I think that is very different. And after, okay, I probably I should go back to this. Okay, I forgot to explain to you that's how the bride looks like. She usually all brides they will wear black veil, and this is like we call it malahfa, and also has a crown on her head. Usually it's a lot of like ornament, kind of usually gold. Sometimes if they are rich, usually most of them gold. Even sometimes even if they are not rich, they would try to borrow it or figure out somehow to make it gold on her crown. And usually her hand will be decorated with henna. Henna is like a tattoo, but it's not really a tattoo. It's kind of a to make it like that kind of reddish. And she also put henna on her feet. Now we'll talk about Mauritanian tea, and actually I have the video I'm going to show to you, but also the same. Here's kind of the picture, make tea in the small cups. I wish I had my tea so that I can demonstrate to you, but I don't have that Mauritanian tea anymore with me, so I'm just going to show you this video. I'm going to show you how to make a Mauritanian tea. Yeah. In our culture, when we make tea, we make 3 jims. Like we have 3 jims for tea, like jmar, the first jmar, and jma'a, and jar. Jma'a, it's a group of people. Jmar means cold, and then jar means to be slow, not to be fast.
Yeah, well, this is not usually
The first song is the tea. I think probably after 11 or midnight, we consider it to be romantic. So usually.
What time is
So
it?
you make sure.
We got 1 hour. Can we restart?
Alright.
Yeah.
So.
Wait, at 11 it starts to be romantic?
Yeah. From 11, usually want to drink it with someone special.
Have you ever had tea after 11?
Connotation.
That's
a good question.
So, have you ever had tea after 11?
That's an excellent question.
Come on, Hussein.
Yes.
It's rolling, guys, it's rolling.
If it's really a good round, so the guys they have to make say some poetry. You know, they have to like improvise some poetry. That means you have to be a good improviser. You have to improvise it. It has to be yours.
Hussein is good at making tea.
People drink tea probably under the tent, you know, and it's getting probably after midnight. It started getting late, and you see stars and stuff like, and you're drinking tea. So you might say some poetry to kind of what we call it, to kind of
set the mood.
To woo to the girl. You say your tea is beautiful. No, it's not beautiful, but your tea is exceptional, just like you. And the girl tomorrow when she go and talk to her friends, she gonna narrate the poetry that we said to her and to her friends.
This is high pressure.
And
I don't
if
know
it's good,
It's good.
so if it's good, you're gonna
Say
be
it will be
popular,
relayed.
and probably your whatever, like your verse is gonna be memorized by her friends, and that's the way they're gonna get spread. They will be popular. And if your poetry is not good, then it's just among your friends, and that's gonna be the end.
I was expecting quality.
So, how hot does it get in the summer?
That's it. Well, okay, so now talking about celebration in my country. Well, one of the days that we celebrate holiday, we call it Eid al-Istiqlal. That means the Independence Day. And basically, usually, like, you can see military parades and the flags on most government buildings, and basically also sometimes parachuting, to show that kind of shows. It's 28 November. That's what we celebrate every year. And also one of the celebration we call Eid al-Adha and Ramadan. Well, Eid al-Adha is, as you could probably still recall, I told you Mauritania is dominantly Muslim, so 99% Muslim, so they definitely celebrate Eid al-Adha and Ramadan. And Eid al-Adha is the 10th day of the last month in the Muslim calendar year. And basically we celebrate it to commemorate that the sacrifice that Ibrahim gave to God to show obedience. So that's what Muslims do. And usually they will sacrifice like a lamb or a goat. And like in the morning, they will first go in the morning about 9 to the mosque, pray together, and after that they come in and slaughter that sacrifice, and they offer the sacrifices. And they to get together with family members. They will prepare like large feast, banquet, and visit family members. It's just a fun time. And also Ramadan also it's sacred month for Muslims, and during Ramadan basically you see almost everybody who over 18 will fast. Basically they won't eat anything from the morning, from dawn until sunset, and they abstain from anything that gets to their stomach. Can be drinking or can be eating food or smoking, nothing like that. And after sunset, they will start breaking fast usually with some dates, dates. Dates. Hopefully you know dates, so not dates, not dating though. Make sure that you know, because a lot of people don't know even about dates. I mean, And after breaking fast, then they will usually stay up mostly very late, you know, catching up with each other, because during the day everybody's kind of tired, waiting for night, and wanted, you know, thirsty and hungry. So that's why they stay up really late when it's Ramadan time. And Ramadan is for 30 days. And after Ramadan, there's a celebration of Al-Fitr. So now horses, some also competition in Mauritania, camel and horse race competition. Have ever any one of you ridden, like raced a horse or a camel? Anybody? Oh wow! I think you. Well, can you tell, which was the most difficult, racing horses or racing camels?
I never raced
Camels? Yes, I agree. I actually raced both of them, and I still remember my experience with racing camels. It was very scary. Like the camels, they don't run straight. Plus also, you know, you have to have some sort of a, what do you call that? You put it in its nose.
Like a bit.
Huh?
Like a bit.
Yes, exactly. And you put it there, so that's why you can control it. Otherwise, you cannot control a camel. And also, this is called the rahla, the one that guys ride on, because camels, you cannot, if you don't have that kind of straddle. It's like a straddle for a camel. If you don't have that, you can't really ride a camel, because it's not comfortable on its hump. It's not comfortable. So, and I wish a designer somehow designed a good straddle one day for that camel, because it's not comfortable. I mean, we figure out the best way for a horse, but for a camel, we probably still need an engineer or something. But anyway, that would be a great achievement, though. And also camels, if they are camels when they are started, like, this is the way they actually stand up. Like, if I'm a camel, for example, I would say, like that, and then they will go up like that, and then they stand up. That's the way they go. They don't stop. It's very uncomfortable. But anyway, it's fun though to race them, and we usually race them when it's like celebrations or sometimes it's just for fun. Sometimes it's just to compete. For example, my family in my village, we have some camels, and most families, they have camels. And you know, the kids, when I was like 16, 15 or so, I was like, you know, my camels are the fastest camel. And some kids said, no, my camel the fastest. So I was so like make a celebration just to compete them, to race them. And also horses, we do the same, but horses are really fast. You have to have really good grip on racing them, but they are really fun. And sometimes when you race them, like in the dirt, sometimes you can see just dust, like after racing them. They are really fast, and it's fun as well. And also ostrich racing. No, we don't ride an ostrich. Okay, so I'm gonna move fast because I think time is kind of time is coming. So, gonna move fast through this. And this is live in the capital city. This is in Nouakchott. It's the capital city. There is a big mosque. It's built by Saudi Arabia, so we call it Saudi Mosque. And you can see probably from over there, that is the presidential palace. This is called the downtown. And also population in Nouakchott is increasing and still increasing, because in Mauritania there's only one public university. It's in Nouakchott. So whenever you graduate from high school, you have, if you want to go to college, you have to move to Nouakchott. And also Nouakchott does not sleep during presidential elections. Anybody can guess why? Probably. Nouakchott does not sleep during presidential elections.
Politicians throw out free money.
That's a good guess. That's part of it. I mean, because like when it's presidential elections, basically you can like see tents put throughout all streets, like tents and musical groups like Igam being invited. People like dancing, politicians like support of this politician and support of other politicians. It is very competitive, and it's very basically people do not sleep. and also, you know, dancing and throwing money as well. Because some, you know, some politicians literally sometimes they'll come and visit and throw money at and Nouakchott also have really beautiful beaches, like because it's on the coast, and also have some markets. It's like dates markets. This is the dates that I'm talking about. Live in the capital city, like. Listening. I like the red dates than the yellow one because they taste better, but just for me. Live in the capital city, and also it has really markets usually for shopping. If you want, we call this malahfa. Malahfa is a dress for women. You probably saw it if you see people were singing in the videos I was playing. They would dress this kind of dress called malahfa. It's very common there, and what most women dress for in the Moor culture. I'm focusing more on, I probably notice I'm focusing more on Moor culture because I'm from that culture and know more about it, presenting to more. This is also like some beaches, and also this is called Band Dargin, which is a national park. It is in Malibu, the city that was on the coast. So good for tourism. It's also Shingiti, a historical city in the north part of the country, like in the desert, and it has a very important history. Actually, Mauritania was called Bilad Shingit. That means it was the land of Shingit. That is before it was named Mauritania. And this building is made of like stones and clay and you know, something. It's not, and they've been here for a long time. It's still surviving. And this is when Shingiti was the trading center for that time during the 60s and 17th century. So Zouérat is a city in the desert, in the northern part of the country. That's where most of the mines are, most of the minerals. Did you start building? Yeah, this is the train that kind of transport minerals, usually iron ore. They transport them from Zouérat to Malibu, the port. Yeah. So basically, you know, Zouérat is. So Zouérat is right here, and the train will take them to Malibu for export iron ore. It's a Malibu city coast was some of these shipping, fishing boats. It is very easy to have a lot of fish there in that city. Well, okay. This is about 5 in my village. This is actually a picture I took when I went there when I went there in 2010, and that's how my, like outside kind of, we call that Wad, which is kind of a valley of my village looks like there. The kind of nature looks like there, and like it's just to show it in the map. It is. Let me see if I can put it on the mouse. Yeah, it should be right there, like in my village, if I were to point at it. And this is kind of a part, some part of a little bit of my village, and that is. And I'll tell you, like in my village when I grew up, it is very different because when I grew up, we did not have school there at the time, and most people actually are not educated at all. Most people are ignorant. Don't need how to read or write. And but I was only me and my brother who were lucky enough to actually commute 3 miles every day to a neighboring town. And we did that for like 6 years every day, it was kind of hard, and especially if you are still like 7 years old or 6 years old, and like you commute that kind of distance, and everybody else, like childhood friends, they used to only go to farm with their parents, or they will go and take care of animals like shepherds and stuff like that. At the time when I was young, at that age, I thought that my parents were punishing me by actually sending me to school. I did not know how it was worth it, and until after when I was in 6th grade and 7th grade, I started understanding it. I started to know that I was different than my childhood friends, even though I was with them, stuff like that. But sometimes, I was started to know how to read. Sometimes they will bring, like the village, they will bring letters to me to read for them, because it will help family members living up in bigger cities, like letters. At the time, there's no cell phones. People communicate only sending letters. And after 6th grade, I actually to move to a bigger city, and it was a challenge for my mom to move with us, but she chose, she sacrificed a lot of things, and she moved with us. And we used to have a lot of animals, but because of that time when she moved with us, most of our animals died because nobody, because my mom was not there to take care of them, and my dad was working in the city at the time. So it's just giving you a snapshot about how I'll be to grow up in a village like this. So now I'm getting to more food. Sorry if this presentation runs a little bit, but this is called Marwul Hut. Marwul Hut is fish and rice, and probably you might see me tasted it. And actually, we eat with our hand, and that's exactly how I eat when I go back home. It's with like from the same bowl or the same dish, and we all share food. Also, this is couscous, which is I prepared actually couscous tonight. You'll see it in the menu. And also we put it with cooked with vegetables, and sometimes with chicken or with meat. You just put it. But this time I cooked couscous separately, and then you put chicken and vegetables on them. How you see that when we are about to eat. And this is called the mishwi. Mishwi is kind of a grilled meat, basically usually lamb, but it can be any kind of meat. But more the pork is not there in my country. But people have beef as well, and it's called spaghetti. And spaghetti with ham is it's kind of a mixed vegetable, like spaghetti with some vegetables and with lamb, and sometimes put egg with egg on it with them, and pepper. And actually, I took this picture when I was there when I went there in 2010, and I was just like, I took it only when we were like halfway actually to finish it. I was like, no, I took the picture, and that's probably my hand there. And this is called the tamar. This is dates. We call it tamar or dates. Basically, we eat it with, that looks like, it's like a butter, but it's not exactly butter. It's like a milkish thing. And that's the end of the presentation. And thank you so much for your listening, for your interest. Well, probably Nami will someone will give you instructions of how you're gonna be eating this.
Okay.
With hands.
Let's go questions first. Question session.
Yeah, questions.
Oh, any questions? Sorry. I felt like I talked too much. It's true. Any questions? Yes.
So you mentioned that Mauritania had a problem with slavery. Is slavery still occurring there, or?
Yeah, it's still like the government abolished it in 2008, but without enforcement. Like its law is not being enforced. Like just like overnight, a bill like a law passed by the parliament telling them, hey, everybody is free now, but without really creating any job opportunities, without sort of some compensation. So a lot of slaves, actually, they preferred to stay with their masters. And their masters, of course, wanted to keep them. So it's still an issue, and you know, so if you want to learn more about it, you can talk about it. I can talk with you later, or you can find a lot of stuff on the internet. I did not go too deep into it, but...
No, I was just interested on the history of it.
Yeah, they were a good question. Any other question?
You said that one of the ethnicity had the most money. Which ethnicity?
What is that again?
Which ethnicity had the most money?
Well, the Bidan, the most dominant, the Arabs or light-skinned Arabs. Yeah, those are the one in control. Any other question? Yeah.
When you commuted to school 3 miles, what did that mean? Did you walk or did you?
Literally walking. Like walking when I was even very young, like at age 6, at 7, and it was pretty tough. And only me and my brother. My brother was 3 years older than me, so he was kind of a little bit, you know. And we will walk. Yeah, we will definitely walk every day. And sometimes it can be really like cold and not enough clothes. Sometimes it can be like windy because there is like a dust. And sometimes like we go against the wind, and it just like sometimes like a storm of dust just sweep you while you are walking to school. It was very tough, but I went through it. I overcome it.
Just curious, the name of your village.
It's called I'm sorry, I should have mentioned it. It's called Al-Qabra.
And you reference the largest
Actually,
city.
Al-Qabra is called literally it's dirt. Probably. What it is, yeah.
And what city was your high school in?
Well, I went to high school in Kifa. Kifa, like it's like I had actually, you know, after finishing six year like my elementary school in a neighboring town, then after that school had only elementary school, and then I had to move to a bigger city for high school, and after high school college, and after that I have to move to the capital city for college. So it's been moving a lot.
Where is your brother? Is he?
So Kifa is actually right here. Thank you, Nami. This is Kifa where I went to high school, and it's far away from my country. Yes.
Is your brother in college?
Actually, yes. My brother actually he just graduated. He graduated last year, and now he is actually teaching in a private school, and also he's doing his master. They just started a master program in Mauritania, and he's actually doing his master's in teaching as well. And we were very lucky because from the starting is only like from all my childhood friends and everything. Most of them are illiterate. I mean, all actually over 99% of them illiterate. And sometimes it can be a hard time actually when I go to my village, because sometimes I wanted to to be like with my people and stuff like that. But sometimes I have like connections. I feel like. I don't want to be above them, but sometimes I just don't fit in, because of that kind of thing. And I always try to lower myself, and not showing that I know a lot of stuff, and not confusing them with technology and computers and stuff like that, because they don't know even they don't know even sometimes whether the video actually can play. It is very different.
Anmol has a question.
Yes.
So you said you have one master's. They just started a master's program.
He started a master program. Like they started a master program.
That's the first one in your country.
Yeah, master program in economics in my country. Just started.
That's only one. That's the only first master program.
That's the first master experience program, which is tells you about the lack of education in my country.
So are you going to go back and start a PhD program then?
He probably will.
Yes.
First thing, I just want to make sure, which country is the neighboring on the north? not who's wrong.
Yeah.
But second question. In
Morocco, I did mention from North Morocco.
Alright, so one thing is, in Morocco when we study like geography, we study about Mauritania. And like our professor used to tell us that Mauritania has like 1 million people living there. And it's the country is called the country of million poets.
Yes, yeah.
So everybody can make poetry.
Yeah, that's true. Like in Mauritania, it was called Zirad Shingit, that means the land of Shingit. And basically at the time, the population were only even 1 million people. And it was called the land of million poets.
So
because,
can you make us a poem? That's my question. Sound to something.
Yeah, صوت صبير البلبلي هيج قلبي في النبي وأنت يا سيدني والسيدي ومولدي فكم تيمني وغزيل أقيقني قطفته من وجنة من واء ورد الخجل فقال لا 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 وقد قضى معول فقلت لا تحولي وبيني الدلول قالت له فينا كذا انهض وجد بالنقل والطبل طب طب طبلي والرقص سق سق سقلي شوا شوا وشاهشي على ورق سبرجلي إذا إنت that can go on and on.
Translation?
Translation? Yeah. Well, the story behind it is the story behind it, like Mauritania, even if we speak the standardized Arabic Fusha, former Arabic, and we say poetry in Arabic Fusha. And even if we didn't say poetry, I myself, I've said a little bit of that, of poetry, but I don't really write poetry, I don't really say it. But at least if I don't say it, I will memorize it. And I memorize a lot of poetry. And this poetry that I just said is called Sautu Sabir Bulbul, means the sound of a little bird. And it is one of the most complex Arabic poetries ever written. And Muhammad probably knows that can testify that. And it was written in the classic time of Arab during the Abbasid Empire, probably Abbasid Empire like in the 17th century. And the poet who wrote it, he wrote it for the king to challenge that, like the king has a trick, because the king was very, he was so, he had the budget, and the budget for Muslim, he did not want to give it to any poet, because he did not want to give any gift to any poet. So he challenged them. He said, okay, if somebody come up with a poem that is so hard and authentic, then I will reward him with the weight of that poem, with the weight of that poem of gold. That is his challenge. But he had a trick, because the king himself, he can memorize a poem when he hears it 3 times. And he has a small kid who can memorize the poem when he hears it the first time. And he has a servant, female servant. She can memorize the poem when she hears it the second time. So every time a poet comes to get a reward for that, and compile a good poem and come to the king to get a reward for it. Like he will say it first time, and the second time the king will call the kid, and the kid recite it. And when the kid recited, then the servant recited again, because she heard it the second time. And then the king himself recited for the 3rd time. So nobody actually could be rewarded, and he was just a way of, making, a trick with them. But there's an Arabic poem. His name is Asma'i. He's one of the most famous Arabic poets. He said he knew the trick. He said something is wrong. It cannot be that the king, nobody can compile a poem that a king never heard of. So he compiled this poem called Sautu Sabir Bulbul. It is very complex, and it's written in a way that nobody really can memorize it, even if you studied for like a week or something. It's very tough. Yeah, let me finish. Yeah. So anyway, when he come to the king, he compiled this poem. When he comes to the king, he started saying, okay, so to Safiyu Bulbuli, Hayya Qalbi Tamani. You know, the king never heard it. He even couldn't memorize the first verse. And he continued, he said, وأنت يا سيدني وسيدي ومولدي بكم تيمني وزيد أقيقني. You know, the king was wondering, like, and the kid who memorized the first time, he couldn't even understand it. He couldn't memorize it. And he said, when he even said it, he said, والأود دن دنلي والرقص قطابلي شوا شوا وشاهشي على ورق سباشني. This is very tough, and the kid couldn't really recite anything of it. And of course the servant couldn't, if she couldn't recite it. And the king also himself was just like, you know, he just like was, you know, wondering about that. Anyway, nobody actually, all of them couldn't recite even the first verse. And the king was really embarrassed, and he said, okay, now you tell it to me. What we can do, where is your poem? I said, I promise I'm going to wait it up quote. Where is your poem? Bring your poem and I'll wait it. The king thought that Asma'i will write it on paper, right, and bring it to me. But no, Asma'i, he knows the trick, and he wrote it on a large stick of like a big like a chop, like a block of wood. And he brought it. He said, I cannot. He said, no, I cannot bring it. I need some help because I wrote my poem on a log of wood. And the king was wondering, you know, I have basically to wait. He has to make his object. And basically that means he gave all the money, all he has, to wait the log. And you know, Asma'i, he know the trick, and he said, so no, I'm not gonna take all the money that the country has because I know this one. But the only condition that you have to make is like to give all those poets who really tried hard and they compiled something authentic, but you were tricking them to give them their gifts, you know, and that's how it ended. Sorry, I was too long, but this is like the background of the story.
One last question?
Yeah.
Okay, at least for me, one last question.
Yeah.
As you are studying international relations, politics, and traveling outside your country, and discovering things, and referring back to your country and the situation, especially, you know, like home country, which is the village, and the situation of school, and other stuff like that. So, the first question is, what's the name of the president, the current president of Mauritania? And the second is, are you planning in the future to run for the Mauritanian presidency in 2020 to end these problems of your country?
I'm just like you. You want to be a Chad in prison, right?
Oh, come on.
Well, anyway.
Right now, it's whoever wakes up early wants to become president, unfortunately.
You know, we had a lot of corrupted presidents, and so far we haven't really had a good president. So, I mean, this is my opinion, okay? I don't think we've had a good president so far. And definitely I have interest in politics but more is kind of human rights because I'm doing actually my master's in international human rights, and definitely I have a passion to work on slavery issues and discrimination and race issues. But also I'm also interested in politics. So you know, but.
So are you president going to stop human rights violations in your country?
What is that again?
When you become a president, will you start human rights?
Yeah, I'll.
Human rights organization called Amnesty International.
Yes, I know.
Okay, I guess. I actually would like to introduce one more person, but thank you so much for the presentation. Again, he's studying international relations, and then he's interested in pursuing his master's degree in this kind of area. So naturally, his interest was like slavery issue, education, poverty, and then those are something you might hear if you go to the online and then search for Mauritania, and then the pictures you might see will have like those kind of topics. But again, the purpose of geography series we have in Holcombe International Living and Learning Community is not the social justice issue series. So we wanted to have opportunities where we can learn something from our students because they're the one who's an expert about their country and then culture. So why not like focus on something positive, something culture, something we wouldn't know until we go to the country or we have friends from that country. So I'm really happy that Hussein covered all the topics, different topics, where to go in the country, and then also what they would eat like in a village, and then how it was like to go to elementary school in his village and then stuff like that. I was like, duh, like I had a duh moment actually. I was asking him like, so when you go to home, where are you gonna fly? Like he's gonna, of course I was thinking go and fly to the capital, but assuming that there should be some sort of like a train or bus system transportation, and he started to tell me the story how he would go home like from the capital to different cities. Like those are the things like coming from different culture, like I would have some sort of assumptions, but again, like making friends from different cultures and then countries, I really want you guys to be open-minded and then ask questions and then get to know the person on a, how to say, personal level, and then get to know the culture. So this has been the purpose of this geography series. And then the next one is coming up on Monday, April 16th, and that's Australia. And he's the only person from the country, and he was really willing to share something with the community. So I hope some of you guys can make it to the program. But again, Adama is from Senegal, and she cooked all the food so she can probably, well, with Hussein and her mom. Her mom is visiting right now from Senegal, so 3 of them plus sister, they cook together the real African food. So she can explain about the food with Hussein.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Adama. She was gonna show up how this well dressed because. Yeah, but thank you so much. Yeah, can you tell us about it?
Hi, my name is Adama. I'm from Senegal, and I have cooked rice and chicken. It's called chibgina in my language, Wolof, and it's rice and chicken with vegetables, and it's very nice. So I hope you guys like it. Sorry, I'm shy.
Thank you, Adama. And for me. And for me, I cooked, we call it spaghetti. I cooked spaghetti with that mixed meat and vegetables, and I cooked also couscous and chicken with some vegetables. You will see it. Yeah. And I hope you enjoy food.
Thank you.